Greetings, fellow songwriters and seekers, and welcome back to Muse Measure. If you haven't done so yet, hit the guy in the lotus pedal down below and benefit from all these wonderful questions and insights from viewers just like you. I hope you'll send me a question. Speaking of, this is Kyle Rasmussen from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I love the Minneapolis. I have a good friend there. In fact, the drummer in my band Visit is from Minneapolis, Clint Carlson. So say hello to him, please, Kyle. How do you know when a song needs a bridge versus when the song should just stay simple and repeat the same structure? Really good question, because not all songs need bridges, like Billie Jean doesn't have a bridge. I have a song called I'm Gonna Miss Me When I'm Gone that doesn't have a bridge. I'll put a link to those down below so you can take a listen to them. Yeah, so let's first of all talk about what a bridge does for a song and what it is. Now, bridges are just like literal physical bridges. They usually connect two sections. But they also, just like literal bridges, they give us a fresh perspective on things. You see things when you're driving or walking over a bridge that you don't normally see. Maybe you see the river, maybe you see the city skyline, maybe you see the beautiful sky. You just get a fresh perspective on things. And so that's also what's supposed to happen in a song's bridge. So lyrically, there should be some new, fresh perspective to the song. And then musically, it should give you some variety. Because most songs are, verse, maybe a pre-chorus if you have it, so let's skip that for now, but verse, chorus, verse, chorus. If you kept with the verse, chorus over and over again, you would often get bored there. So I think the answer to your question is knowing if you need a bridge or not is like, okay, am I getting bored? Is this boring all of a sudden? And I often get bored listening to my songs, and I realize, okay, yeah, I was being a little lazy just by throwing another verse chorus in here. I should throw in a bridge here, or it needs something else. It needs a musical interlude. So really the question is like, do you need a new perspective lyrically? Do you need something new musically? And if you don't, keep it simple. I think always best to keep it simple and keep your song short. But, songs will demand things. And you'll feel it as you're writing it or you're playing it to decide, okay, is this done? Can I be just done here? Have I said what I wanted to say and get out? Just do a 1-2 punch and just get out while you can. That's usually the best method. But sometimes the song's demanding, like, no, there's something else that needs to happen. The emotion is still welling up and you still have something else to say. So something else to say is not repeating what you already said. It's something new, okay? And maybe that new perspective is going to shift the emotional resonance, the color of your chorus. So most of the time bridges are between two choruses, and so you have a chorus, which is like the hookiest part of a song. It repeats the title over and over again. Usually it repeats the same lyrics, the same music every single time. And so then you have a bridge, which usually kind of ramps up the energy, almost works like a pre-chorus, and it builds to something, but it builds in a surprising way so that when you get to that last chorus, you hear that chorus in a different way than you heard it before. The lyrics should kind of slightly shift your impression of what the song's about, and the music should give kind of a freshness and change the kind of color that you would see or when you are in that final chorus. So it shifts the listener's perspective slightly or drastically. Sometimes it is a big drastic change from the bridge to the final chorus. So I would say, are you bored? And yet you still have something else to say. There's still some pressing thing that you want to bring out, that you want to talk about. That's when you need a bridge. Or, you need some variety. And that's the function of a bridge. So use that, but I would say keep the song short and simple if you can. Sometimes, you want to say more and you shouldn't, and so you just cut it short. But when you've done like a verse and a chorus and you're like, yeah, that's good. That's all I want to say. There's nothing more to say. I could say more, but I don't need to. I've expressed myself enough. Done. So I did that on my song, I'm Gonna Miss Me When I'm Gone, and I've done it in lots of songs where I don't have a bridge. And then there's songs, especially in my new songs, my bridges are really long and take you on these wild journeys. So that's been kind of the form of my latest songwriting ventures is I have verse, chorus, and then the bridge is like, okay, we're going off on a total weird adventure. And then when it comes back, if it ever does come back to the verse and chorus, you've gone through this like hero's journey and gotten back to home, but you are a different person from experiencing that journey. Maybe those are failing songs. I don't know. I guess time will tell. That's not for me to judge. So, but there's plenty of songs that I've written too, which just like verse, chorus, done. Maybe a little musical interlude between those, and done. So keep it simple. I think simple songs are really good, and I think I'm going to strive to write some more simple songs too. So, and sometimes all you need is a verse if it's compelling enough. And sometimes that is kind of builds the tension to just have one section that keeps repeating over and over again. Usually when you record it though, you have to like add new instruments each time you layer it. Think about like Rocky Raccoon, you know, each time around the chord changes, they add a new instrument. And that's what keeps it interesting. So it doesn't need a bridge. Of course it has that little honky-tonk piano. You could say that's the bridge, but it's just more of a musical interlude, right? So it's all about like, you know, so if you have songs like that, you probably need to do something in the recording process that gives the listener their ear candy so that keeps them interested musically. So there's all these different ways around it. I think you'll know when you need a bridge because you're bored or you have something else to say and you have a new perspective on it. Okay, well, I hope that helps, and thank you so much for your question. Best of luck with your songwriting practice and your spiritual practice. And I'll see you next time on Muse Measure.